Family. Jumping on because we have entered the 57th gene key, which, if you know the 57th gene key, we can really see how activated it has become. It is the shadow of unease. And I invite everybody who hears this video to try and still yourself for 30 minutes, to just sit still in the silence and notice the unease that you are holding in your body. Not attaching to it, not creating a story around it, just witnessing and observing yourself in the discomfort of the unease, of the unknown, of the uncertainty that we are witnessing on planet Earth right now. It is coming from so many different directions. And when a gene key is transiting, you can be sure that if you take the time to contemplate and sit still, you will notice the frequency of the key that is passing through your DNA. And this unease is deep. This unease goes back to the point of conception. It goes back into how you were developing in your mother's womb, each cell dividing and multiplying, all of the while being imprinted by every single thought, feeling that your mother was having while she was gestating you. All of the things that she was uneaseful about through her entire life experience that were still in her unconscious. And during your conception, you have been imprinted with all of that unease. And then we're born. And then we're born into this world where there is so much unease, so much uncertainty. You know, I've said this again and again, but if you came to planet Earth at this time, you're here for a profound mission. You are here to really transform all of these old fear-based energies. And unease, this key, really has so much to do with the acoustic field, right? Which is not just about our hearing, but it's about the subtlest energies of being able to feel the frequencies that are passing in and through everything and everyone. It is really the gentlest of the gentle, being so attuned to the morphogenic field that you can sense every little thing. You know, it's, for me, it's beyond the empath even. It goes back to the ancient part of our evolution, where before we were in the mind, before we became so intellectual, where we felt everything. We felt the subtlest of changes in the weather. We felt the wind as it moved through us. We felt the subtlest inkling of danger that was impending. And then we moved forward with our intuition. Our mind wasn't really online yet. So it's like tuning into this ancient part of our evolutionary times. The whole gene keys, every shadow is based on a fear frequency. And if we can attune into our subtleness, into our gentleness, into our tenderness, we can start to read the field within us and the field within the collective consciousness. And in doing so, we will be able to move into our gift of intuition, back into our instinctual way of knowing how to move forward in every present moment. You know, the shadow of unease has really caused us to fear life, to fear one another, to defend ourselves, to create or attempt to create so much security and so much safety through the acquirement of material things, and through kind of if we have enough and we can insulate ourselves from the rest of humanity, and therefore kind of give ourselves a sense of protection and in safety. And it's not real. Because as long as you're in that state, the underlying vibration of that is fear. As we move into the higher state of the key, as we open up and let ourselves feel it all, sit with the field of unease, of uncertainty, of the not knowing, and come into a deep acceptance of it. Letting our minds go, stop trying to protect ourselves, rather open up to the field of all experience. Something very profound gets to shift. We get to begin to feel safe within the not knowing. When that happens, when we begin to allow ourselves to truly embrace that, the paradox is that we begin to feel everything. We begin to feel into the aura of others. We begin to feel into the aliveness of nature herself. We begin to attune ourselves to the most nuanced of energies. And in that, we have an internal guidance system, an internal compass that then begins to direct our every present moment. We open up to the acoustic field, the Akashic field of all energy. And as we become more sensitized to this, and as we allow ourselves truly to soften into it, there's a sense of actually expanding. There's a sense of being able to feel the energy that lies beyond the construct of our physicality. There's a field. Especially this key is so tied to the causal field, which is that vast field of all life, of all consciousness, that aspects of higher self, that is our intuition, that is our ability to attune to something bigger, grander, and vaster than just the memory of this life experience. And this is where it becomes such a journey of just so much presence. All of your energy becomes present to the moment. And it's like as I'm even talking now, it's like I'm present to the wind moving through the plants and the flowers behind me. I'm attuned to the acoustics of the singing bird and the chimes, and how the grass is actually moving so subtly. And there's a sense of, it's like I can let the gentleness of the wind begin to move me, speak to me, share its energies with me. And just that, just within that, there's a sense of rightness to everything, that everything is just as it should be. There's a clarity, which is the city. There is a clear view that opens up, that is so beyond what the mind could ever conceive of. Clarity is like a conception. Clarity is like an immaculate conception of a new knowing. It's like something new is born with every breath. As I inhale, I'm breathing the out breath of all of this consciousness, and it is moving inside of me. And I get to, with clarity, understand what it is to be those consciousness as myself. And then as I breathe out, as I let go and I surrender, I literally am giving my life force and letting it penetrate these beautiful plants behind me. The birds that are singing are receiving it. There comes this clarity of knowing that we are all so deeply interconnected through the web of life. And in that, I feel inherently supported and safe. I know through the depth of my being, the depth of my divine spark of God consciousness, that I am being directed in every moment, that I am being propelled by my breath in a direction that is not of the mind, but as a deep trust and clarity of an intuitive energy that is moving me, that there is a breath that is breathing me. And that which is breathing me is not my mind. That which is breathing me is the consciousness that created all of this. And when that is truly recognized, when that is realized, there's nothing that I have to do. But that connection to the vastness of that field that really does annihilate my identity then allows this vessel that is connected to the vastness of consciousness to know what is needed in every moment. And it's so subtle and so gentle and so malleable. It's like being the wind. The wind in its softness and its subtleness can penetrate everything. The water, which flows effortlessly, has a strength that can move mountains, that can shape the densest of matter, of rock. That is what we are becoming. That is what we must let in. And there's no force to it. There's no fear to it. It's easeful, graceful. It's the knowing that everything is okay no matter how consciousness is playing it out. And so when we think of clarity, it brings me to peace, right? And everything that's happening in the outer world right now that is so chaotic. It seems so chaotic and such a mess. But when I tune in to the depths of the consciousness of all life, within that chaos, it actually has such beautiful and precise organization. What if, through the eyes of clarity, through the eyes of Christ consciousness, everything that's seemingly falling apart is because it's reforming, it's transforming into something incredibly new? What if this is the birthing of a new creation, so that the old one has to crumble and die and be really chaotic, but when in fact it's just reorganizing? This may be a lot for the mind to comprehend, because it can't happen through the intellect in any way, shape, or form. It's almost a complete dissolution of your physicality. It's rather, it's an entering into this cauldron of alchemy. And in a way, for your mind to even kind of perceive it, it's a way of essentially dissolving all that you know, and then reforming, reshaping it, and letting something brand new begin to come to the surface that has never been known before. So this key of unease, the only thing to do right now is feel the unease. We can't move beyond the fear if we don't allow ourselves to feel it, to acknowledge it, to let it move through, to let it change and alchemize, so that we can open up to a much more heightened sensitivity. I don't know if you can hear the wind right now, but this key is so much about listening to the wind. The deeper that we listen, the much more that we can hear. Hearing is not about the ears. It's about receiving the field of information and letting all our notion of idea and identity and belief go. When the city of clarity truly is born, there will be no separate I anymore. Clarity is the remembering that we are the divine spark of the Creator consciousness, not separate from any of it. When we fully know how to plant all of the seeds of peace within us, when we don't have the unease, when we don't have the defense, when we don't have the protection, when we don't have the victimization, when we truly invoke all of our power of divine source consciousness back inside of us, then and only then will peace rain down, and will the winds of change begin to be seen. So be with the wind, be like the wind. Let the winds of change, let the gusts of the old come and blow out all of the old ideas, beliefs, and constructs, and soften, 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 so that you can let all that has been hardened begin to be reformed and reshaped. And so that you can let your inner knowing lead, your intuition is always there. It is always leading you, but we overlook it because it is the quietest of voices. It is a whisper. It is a knowing without words. And until we learn to tune in to that frequency, tune ourselves like our bodies as the antenna, tune ourselves into the frequency of that which is guiding our inner compass, our North Star, and then begin to move in that direction. Only then does the unease go, does the fear go, does the idea that we have to change what awakening on planet Earth looks like. Those of you that are here listening to this now, you're here because you've done this before. You know and understand this process at such a deep level inside of you that there's this thought, this knowing, this visceral feeling that you've come here for something so vast and so great, that you are here to return everything back to love, and that you have come to planet after planet after planet because you understand how to hold this energy as this uprising of consciousness happens, as this ascension happens, as all beings begin to remember that they are, in fact, source consciousness, connected, just like their own ecosystem. And so everything that has been severed can come back into unity again. Clarity is unity, is peace, is unconditional love. And if you're listening to this and you're still here, you know this process. Because this is your divine destiny. It is your mission, however it moves through you. But you know, because you go from system to system in the cosmos, and you're always returning it back to love, helping that system ascend so that the grand, interconnected web of the cosmos can come back into union with God. So this went in a different direction than I thought it was going to, as always does. But I trust whatever came through is exactly what is needed for the collective at this very pivotal juncture in the turning of the wheel of time, which is also being transcended. As we stretch, we are stretching the time, space, fabric of this reality, which is why it all seems very strange to the human identity. That's for a different video. But I also want to share that I am going to do a 1-month online container that is going to bring through the gene keys and how we map those keys to the portals of our body, or acupuncture points, each one of which is a portal into these gene keys, into our DNA, into the caverns and the chambers within our body that we can work with to open up all of this remembering, all of this ancient wisdom that every one of us holds within. So if you feel called to join, it's going to be 1 month and we'll see where it wants to go from there. But that's what's coming through, to commune with the community who feels a deep resonance with what's happening in the world and is also connected to this Gene Keys wisdom and how we can deepen in it together, and how we all come together and we actually activate the codon rings, which is profound in and of itself. So if you wish to join me, I'll leave a link below. And I want to make it super affordable for anybody who wants to join. So it's just $33 for the entire month for the course. I'll send out videos and we'll meet once a week live to discuss what is kind of moving through at the moment and what each one is going through and what's most alive in the container. And then we'll dive into that. But the ability to work with the portals of the body is really profound as well. So that will be happening in the month of probably the second week of November into the middle of December. Actually, maybe the third week. It would be really nice to end it on the winter solstice. That's just coming through at the moment. So anyhow, I'll leave the link down below and I'll solidify the dates, but I would love to have you join me. And if it resonates, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I love and appreciate you all, and all of the work you're doing is so felt. It is so felt. And I'm so grateful for all of my brothers and sisters who are really holding it down right now. It's really, really imperative that we hold the collective with our wisdom, with our clarity, and with our internal knowing. I love you. Aloha. See you soon.